Hi everyone, this is David with ZenTek Consultants, and today we're going to be looking at understanding measurements within Bluebeam Revu. First, a little bit about ZenTek Consultants. We primarily work within the architectural, engineering, and construction space, and we help all of our clients purchase and implement the software that we use on a day-to-day basis. So that can be, all of the Autodesk programs, Bluebeam Revu, Procore, the Microsoft Office 365 programs like Word and Excel, and so many more. We provide a single point of contact for our clients to buy, develop, and learn the most vital software systems for both design and construction. ZenTech strives to be your trusted technology partner from initial needs through long-term support and training for your staff. Again, you guys can visit our website. We'll put the link down in the description, along with it being at the end of today's presentation. So why is Bluebeam Revu such an important tool for every construction and design firm? Because it's going to give us the ability to measure, calculate, control the size, length, area of every single type of object inside of your PDF documents, all within seconds. There's no better tool than Revu for automatically measuring pipes, duct runs, area, perimeter calculations for rooms, or even site stripping volumes on a site plan. Whatever the type of work you do, Bluebeam Revu can handle all of your estimating, review, and design information needs. Revu lets you use standard PDF files to handle all of these functions, so it's not even anything new. So kind of with that said, we're going to open up our Bluebeam and let's kind of go over all of the different types of measurement functions. Okay, and now that we have Bluebeam Revu open, I do want to kind of preface this by saying not all the different measurement tools are available within all the different subscriptions of Bluebeam. If you're going to be doing takeoffs on a day-to-day basis, I would recommend utilizing Bluebeam Core or Complete. The Complete is the most expensive version. Do not use the basics version unless you're just doing some very basic PDF markup, such as just putting notes on it. But when you're doing your takeoffs, you're going to want the core or also the complete version as well. Okay, so when we have our Bluebeam open, there's three primary areas that you can access all of the measurement tools. We utilize and we recommend everyone use the Revu Advanced profile. It's actually what all of these ZenTech Revu tools are based upon. And with that, the measurement tools are all of these purple icons right at the top right here. The two other locations they are at are going to be the tools measurement area over here. You can see all of the different measurement tools in a nice list here. And again, on the measurements panel, you can see all of the tools. And if they're all not showing up for you, there's always a drop-down arrow that shows a little bit more. But one of the first things we have to do when doing a takeoff or any type of measurements on a drawing is get the scale. And getting the scale and calibrating the drawing are two different things, right? We can look at this particular drawing. It has a scale of 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. However, sometimes we get drawings from individuals that it could be a scan document from a scanner. Somebody could have made the paper size wrong. It could be an 8.5 by 11. And it's kind of hard to see that on a PDF at times. Because we just have no physical representation of that. You could easily tell the difference between a 30 by 42 sheet of paper versus an 8.5 by 11. With that, I always recommend you actually calibrate all of your drawings So again, this is calibrate. We're going to just select 2 points here, especially if we know the dimension of a particular area. I've done enough takeoffs on this drawing. I just know all of these doors. All of these doors are 30 inches. But we have, we'll do this 15.9 measurement here. Actually give us this number. So 15.9. So this is 15'9". And we'll keep it at a inch precision here. Now, starting with the measurement tools, we have the basic linear, the length measurement. Not too much going on with this one. Really only gives us a distance from point A to B. So we'll just measure this line that we just did and make sure it kind of matches up. And it does, exactly 15'9". Okay. However, we can start adding numerous lines using the polylink tool. The polylink tool is, it's where you can draw numerous lines. Again, using it, doing like any type of perimeter or length measurements. So if I wanted to, let's just say, get the length of this. Let's find, we'll just draw a random line in the middle of our screen here. A couple lines through here, and maybe, this is some type of ductwork. And we'll just draw it up here. And right there. I just drew this blue line here. I don't have any types of properties to show what the length is, but within the properties panel, I could change the line type, the color. I'll just change this line type here. Just make it a dashed. Put on a caption on there. Let's show the label. And the length, let's make the font size a lot bigger here. We'll just make it 18 just to see it a lot easier. And as with any of your takeoffs, any of your measurements, we always want to have a subject and a label. This really is going to make your takeoffs in Bluebeam a lot more professional and a lot more user-friendly. So again, we could always name that in the properties. So maybe this one can be, this is a HVAC for our subject. And we'll just name this just as, square duct. And we can see that we have just under 81 feet of our square duct here. Now, we can continuously do this. And there's kind of 3 different ways these kind of markups can go. First, all of your markups will always go in your markups list on Bluebeam. So here we can see our subject being labeled HVAC. With our label, we can see our measurement there. And I even have additional custom columns in here that are related to the ZenTek Revu tools that can provide some basic cost. Call that $10 per linear foot, and it'll actually give me a basic estimation. Do some basic math for me. And there's also a few other columns that I have on here, again, specific to the ZenTek Revu tools that we sell on our website. Now, in all of these measurements that we add, so I'll do another one real quick. I'll do another poly length. We'll just call this one HVAC. And again, I'll do the same thing, square duct. Draw it randomly going in this direction. Over here. So you can see here, this one I just drew. This one is 44 feet. And it's going to combine them all down here. Not really combine in a sense, but they both are labeled separately, but they are grouped up underneath the underneath the HVAC label. Now, with a lot of the polyline tool, and eventually we'll get into the area tool as well here, you can always add on control points. Again, I mentioned that these numbers are dynamic. They are, you can change them whenever you receive a bulletin or an updated drawing or design change, whatever it may be. So we can always add in control points, make a weird diagonal like that, and maybe just move this somewhere over here. Not the most efficient duct work I got going on this drawing, but it'll suffice for our example here. Now, with Bluebeam, we also have the ability to have our measurements snap as well. So you can kind of see if I go close to a wall, we're going to be super far zoomed in here. Kind of can see that when I start this, the cursor is kind of starting on this wall. So you actually have the opportunity to be very precise with your measurements as well. Now, we're going to get into the area tool up next. Let's open that up. I'm going to minimize our markups list here. And I'll just do a simple square area just right over here. And we can see that this is 223 feet. Again, I don't have a subject. We'd always want to have a subject, so maybe this is, flooring. And this can be carpet type 1. And again, just as with our polyline tool, we can change the fill color, highlight it, maybe make it orange. We even have the option to add some hatches onto it. Pretty ugly one I got going on here. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, every single time I got to do a takeoff, I have to change the color, I got to change the subject, I got to change the label. That's a lot of work. Fortunately for you, Bluebeam has built-in tool chest for you. That once you get one of these takeoffs designed to your liking, again, the color, then the naming convention, and more, you can actually add it to a tool chest. And here I'm demonstrating our electrical tool chest here. We got a whole bunch of count tools, which we'll get into momentarily. We have, again, here are some electrical wires. This is actually using the poly length tool that we discussed, just a couple of minutes ago. So once you get all of your properties set for a particular tool, add it to your tool chest, group them up together, and they're going to always be with you. You could even share them from computer to computer in your office. And ZenTech, again, we sell a variety of basic type of our review tools for different types of trades. Again, we got electrical, concrete, and we're releasing more and more quite frequently. You could visit our website or always reach out to us if you're always interested in one of those, or leave a comment down below. But we also do farther customization. Many of our clients that reach out to us want something a little bit more customized for their needs and their estimating. So if that's something your firm wants to get into doing and have, your custom symbols that you just don't either have the time or the expertise, reach out to us. This is our bread and butter. We specialize in all the best practices, and we will help you guys out. Okay. Now, we also have a perimeter tool. This is going to be, at the end of the day, very similar in functionality to the polyline tool. Not much of a difference there. I'll even draw one for you guys, but draw a random line over there. So perimeter measurement, not much of a difference there in terms of functionality. We have the diameter tool. That just gives you a diameter of a circle, should you need to measure anything that is circular. We have the angle tool as well. Again, these aren't too commonly used, but you certainly can use them. We also have our radius tool here. Again, very similar to our diameter tool, but instead of a diameter, we actually start with a radius. And before I get into volume, I'm actually going to show off the count tools here. We've done an entire video on how to use the count tools. And again, very similar, I can count different objects on this floor plan. So I'll just call this, furniture. And we'll put in, chairs. And I can just go around and click on each of these. I got counted 7 right there. Again, all of these customizable. If I go on my markups list, I can even look on my furniture. Here's my 7 count. Again, I could put in a unit cost in there, maybe $125 per office chair. And there's my total cost right here. Again, custom columns, it's not something we're going to dive into today. We may make a future video about custom columns, but you can do a lot of cool things with them. You could have, again, drop downs, you can put text in there, and you can even assign, I'm manually typing in the unit cost. But when you add a tool to a tool chest, you could also have that number automatically pre-populate within your tool set as well. So when you place these chairs down, they will automatically be pre-populated for you with $125 each. And same thing, we can, hop into some of these different types of, let's see if I could find the junction box here. Here we go, floor box, junction box. I'll just count a few of these junction boxes on this particular drawing here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that's it for now. There's probably more elsewhere. I just don't want to spend too much time looking at them. So you can even see you can have custom count symbols. It's not just the square or the circle that you saw on the properties. You could actually have custom symbols for counting. Now, just a little bit about the count object. It's one of the only tools you can't rotate. So, for example, this receptacle here, despite the drawing receptacle facing left to right, the Bluebeam one, I'm actually not able to rotate a count object. Just want to let everyone be aware of that. It's one thing that I'm pretty sure Bluebeam is working on. But in this current release, as of today, you cannot rotate count objects at all. Okay. Now, one of the features I skipped over just a few minutes ago was the volume tool. So again, Bluebeam can calculate volumes. So if I needed to get a concrete takeoff, let's just find a room here. We'll just draw a square in here. We could always change our thickness here. Maybe this is actually a 5-inch slab. concrete. And again, we'll just say 5-inch slab. Nothing out of the ordinary for this one. We can always change what the volume is. So instead of cubic feet, most of the time when I'm doing my concrete takeoffs, I'm using cubic yards. So it's going to show you that 5 cubic yards right there. And with the area and volume tools, anything that has any type of area associated with it or volume, we can even cut out areas. I'm just going to change this property a little bit, just kind of put a fill in there just so it's a little bit easier to demonstrate. So my concrete slab right here, it's 5 cubic yards. It's a 5-inch slab. However, maybe in a particular area, I need to cut it out. It's just going to be, maybe in this area right here, it's going to be 8 inches, or it's just not going to have any concrete at all. So I can use the cutout tools at the top to do that. So maybe we have some type of pipe running right there going underneath, underground. And unfortunately, due to rounding, it's still going to say 4 cubic yards. But let me change that back over to our cubic feet here, just so you can see the numbers change a little bit easier. And I could, make this square a little bit bigger. A rectangle now, I should say. And again, all of the numbers and takeoffs within Bluebeam, they dynamically update as you make changes. It is quite simple to change out a drawing. Keep your markups, especially whenever there is a bulletin, and you can kind of go through there. Now, the last type of tool we have, and this is actually only available in the complete version of Bluebeam Revu. And if you are utilizing anything before V21, so like the Bluebeam 20 or 19, any of the previous editions, that's going to be the extreme version. And this is actually going to be dynamic fill. I'm actually going to switch drawings. And dynamic fill is useful when you want to kind of get an area or perimeter of something that's a little bit more difficult. So this is going to be the dynamic fill tool. And I can actually start drawing. I can actually make a line here just so it doesn't overflow. And I can start using this little paint bucket. And I could kind of start holding down my left cursor. Ooh. Had a little bit of a lag there and I jumped out. And you kind of color in the space. Looks like there's probably some type of line that's messing this up right here. Yeah, this isn't connected all the way. One little downside about the dynamic fill tool is if a room or area is not fully enclosed, it's going to escape. So this circle right here for this number 16, you can hold it down and you can kind of see that it fills it in completely, not escaping. However, as soon as I go over here to this area, these aren't solid lines right here. These are dashed lines. So it's just treating it as not a wall or not a barrier. And that's where you can actually get the line function in there. That's what I drew a second ago. That's what this line is. And with these different types of measurements, we can use some of our tool chest items that we already have in place. So if I just wanted to know, again, this is a bad example. I don't have any area tools. But I can simply just do a 2-inch conduit, and we'll just do a regular area as well. And I can do apply. My scale is not going to be correct on this one, not the end of the world. But you can see here I have a 2-inch conduit in a pretty weird shape, me 70 feet. And I also have this 2-inch conduit over here. The radius of it is, not radius, the circumference is 22 feet, but the area, again, is 40 feet right there. This area is 377 feet. Now, with any of your markups as well, you could assign layers to them and turn these layers on and off. So let's see. Some of the symbols I already drew on this don't have layers associated with them, but if I add some of our tool chest items here, I could turn on and off those layers. So let's add a couple more outlets. Just randomly add a couple floor boxes randomly. And let's head over to our layers list. And find them. There's a lot of layers on this particular drawing. Usually they don't have this too many. But another method is to look at the layers in the markups list. So I could just turn on layer. Look for my count object. Oh, actually, none of these count objects have layers. So, but we can always assign a layer to some of these tools. Was HVAC. And we could easily turn on and off different layers for different types of markups and trades. Other than that, that's all I wanted to show you guys about all the different types of measurement tools within Bluebeam Revu. Again, this wasn't a full presentation on how to use them. If you do want to get the specifics and more tips and tricks with the measurement tools, Bluebeam, and more, we do offer a lot of different types of training. We have a specific takeoff and estimating class that goes into all of this that I covered today and a lot more. So feel free to visit our website or, again, leave a comment down below. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today, and look forward to seeing everyone on the next video.